Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. If you're like me, you've been waiting for this one to come in. It is the new, smallest Montana out there. So if you're looking for a really easy traveling fifth wheel with a warranty for full-time RVing, this is a good place to start right here. And probably end. Haylett RV. Haylett RV is a good place to start and end. The way you see it here today could vary a little bit from what we have in stock, but it's going to weigh about 10,600 pounds. So it really falls well within the confines of most 3/4 ton capability. You'll want to watch the hitch weight on that a little bit, but this one, it's interesting. We still have a nice living room, but they've managed to get rid of so much of that length so that if you are trying to get into some of those more restrictive parks, the shorter length here is going to make her easy to tow, go, park, and just enjoy. Now, when I first heard they were making a new, smaller Montana, first thing that went through my mind is, okay, what are we losing? And that's what, frankly, really impresses me about this one. I don't feel like I gave anything up. I don't feel like you're sacrificing. I think everything that defines a Montana is here. Like, for instance, up top, we've got that rain censoring XL vent fan, and that is good not just for exhausting cooking heat, but also just getting some airflow moving through the windows. And that's another thing. A lot of times when RVs get smaller, you tend to lose a lot of the windows on the door side of the RV. I don't think they have that problem here. In fact, that's one of the biggest windows I've seen right there on the door side of an RV. Now, it's certainly, this model is absolutely not going to be for everybody. It does some interesting, different things that I don't know it'll resonate with everybody, but there's definitely going to be some people who are like, oh man, I've been waiting for this. Now, like I said, like a Montana should. It has those roll-down blackout shades, but look what happens with this crazy, like, super lounge mega sofa. You get yourself a crazy super lounge mega sleeper right here. And that's what's neat. Like, this is definitely going to be mostly a couple's rig, but if you're going to have guests, that can fold down into a sleeper. Not to mention the fact you've got bonus storage hidden all the way under this sofa, and that L, almost like chaise lounge portion right there, that itself is also storage. They did some really crafty, different creative things, and I think this goes hand in hand with the completely carpetless slide system that they're using here on these Montanas. Now, one question you might have yourself is, okay, like, I got a nice sofa. I got an awesome entertainment center over here. We'll get to the kitchen in a minute, but, like, dude, where do I eat? And the good news is Montana has a solution for that. This RV has its own little kind of like elevated breakfast bar dining station right there. Or if you're sitting on the lounge right here, you are directly across from that jumbotron of an HD TV. And notice how it's not mounted all the way up to the ceiling. It's actually mounted at like viewing height. It's crazy how many RVs have started really mounting the TVs up way, way too high, and they cause a lot of neck strain. You won't have that here. But what if you're not sitting straight across from it? Montana's got you covered. They allow the TV to pivot out and around. So, you know, it's just a little more easy and convenient for everybody, even if you're in the kitchen. Now, that fireplace down below is a high-output electric space heater, 5,100 BTUs of heat. Now, up top, built into the whisper ducted air conditioning system up here, we also have a 16,500 BTU electric heat pump. This RV has over 21,000 BTUs of electric heating that does not tax your furnace, use up your propane. Plus, it has 12-volt tank heaters. In a very real sense, this RV almost has, like, I don't know how else I want to say this, but like dual heating systems. Now, pardon me, I think I literally just choked on thin air. Directly behind me, there's a set of household and USB outlets on, on the wall, so that if you're sitting on that end of the sofa, you got power. But over there, you see that you have more of them next to the fridge side. But here's the thing, you see that yellow sticker on it? You'll find like 4 of those throughout this RV. That is an indication that those outlets are inverter ready. So should you choose to add an inverter to this RV, you can be able to live power select outlets through the coach. Now, we still have 6.5 foot tall slides here in the main deck, like all Montanas. We still have that 6.5 foot tall, 30-inch wide residential sized entry door with the window there for the extra light. Again, everything that defines a Montana. It's all here. Like the centralized vacuum system, the motion entry lights down here, a place to hang a coat by the door. And that's another one of those inverted outlets right there. It's those devil in the detail features that Montana does better than just about anybody else. Now, I've flashed past this kitchen a few times, but I want to take a quick second and give you just like a really in-depth look here. Plus, I keep choking on my words, so I'm gonna take a little break for a second. Now, we just had a good look in there, but I want to zero back in on this whole kind of bar stool situation. I know this is not going to be for everybody. And whether you love it, hate it, whatever the case may be, do me a favor, leave me a little comment here that says, that's awesome, or I think that sucks. I don't care what the explanation is. Just let me know what you think. Now, at the time of this filming, I know some people are going to ask, are there other seating arrangements available in this? And at the time of the filming, no. This giant, like, L Mega Lounge is the only thing they're currently offering. I think Montana is kind of wanting to see how the whole floor plan as a whole takes off, which I think this is going to be one of their top 5 sellers this coming year. Before they go doing a lot of different crazy things, because this isn't a regular furniture size for Montana. So, if you don't like this, that's okay. Do me a favor and do Montana a favor. Leave us some comments to let us know, do you love it? Do you hate it? What would work for you? Because one of the things I think I'd do is get a floating table, and I'd set it in front of this big sleeper super sofa, and I'd make it a little bit of a mega dinofa. But, you know, that's just me. What I want to also look at here is just the total amount of counter space. Because it has a totally awesome amount of counter space. This has more prep space than so many other Montanas I've seen, but if you're really looking at it, what they actually did here is the front living room Montana, the 376 FL, it has the exact same kitchen. It's just over here on the driver's side of the RV instead of the passenger side, the door side of the RV. So that amazing amount of counter space, all those easy reach outlets, you saw that big stainless farm sink, and that wrap around backsplash. Notice how it goes not just behind the stove, but it wraps all the way around into like any of the main prep areas right there. That's the kind of details that you get in the Montana that you just don't always get everywhere else. Now, as we step up here into the upper deck, if you follow a lot of our videos, if you're familiar with Montana, she's going to look awful familiar. They use the exact same upper deck here that they use in the 294 rear living Montana. And really, the difference here is they're going to have the same upper deck. It's just that this one found a way to shave off an extra 2 feet to get down to 32 feet instead of 34 feet like the 294, which was previously the smallest Montana. Now, you're looking right here and you're like, is that really the only storage that I have in the bathroom? No, it's not. We'll get to that in just a second. But we are a 6.5 foot tall upper deck, so I can stand in that shower, and that is one of the larger radius showers, by the way. Even at my size, with long arms and legs, I can stand in there no problem. And, folks, if you're looking for lots of legroom in front of that toilet, say no more. You can actually get out of the shower and get dressed in here. Now, if you were in the shower and you were getting out, this is roughly what it would look like. So, I mean, I'm not proud to say this. I guess you could say you've been in the shower with your Uncle Josh. That did not come out as planned. Scratch that from the record, please. Instead, I want to focus on something that I said earlier. It's a smaller Montana, but it's still a Montana. You don't make sacrifices when you go with a Montana. That is one of the reasons that they are and have been the #1 selling fifth wheel to full-time RVers for 18 straight years. That's insane. So we've seen that little linen cabinet. We saw the storage there in the drawers and the wastebasket space under the sink. What do we got going over here? Well, it's interesting because if you're looking, this is actually a bedroom and bathroom super slide. It's a little unconventional, but Montana has shown it's extremely effective, and this design, in conjunction with what they do up in the bedroom, is what allows them to shave some of that extra length off this RV and get you down to 32 feet of towing. Because instead of a super duper deep front closet, you'll see that they've got good hanging storage there. They move the washer dryer hookup over here into the bathroom slide. Now if I get down a little bit, you can see this is doing a couple things. It is either hanging closet space or it is set up for a combo washer dryer. This is one of the only Montanas though that is combo washer dryer only. This one is not stackable capable. Now, of course, you do have a sliding privacy door over there to that bedroom entry door, but you notice how you've got dual bed bath entries going on, so it doesn't really matter which direction you're coming from. Now, this floor plan would actually standard have a 60 by 80 queen. Queen bed is standard, but what we're looking at here is how you're going to probably see almost every Montana every single time with that 70 by 80 king bed. And again, this different design that they have up front, it's what allows them to have a shorter overall length, but it's also offering an interesting thing. By not fully enclosing a front closet, it allows them the ability to build this with a standard front windshield, almost like a front living room. So it makes this room not look and feel so small. And if you ask my wife, not looking and feeling so small is why I'm constantly asking for validation in these videos. She might have a point. But enough about my life, I digress. I want to get you a good look at the rest of the storage because we've gone this far. Big dresser, 5 drawers, and I like that extra large drawer at the bottom. Very handy for like jeans, sweaters, whatever. TV hookups on the wall between that cabinet and the driver's side window, or nope, passenger side window, I'm sorry, door side window on the right-hand side of the screen right now. Now you notice, you've got a split hanging closet. Remember, we have that extra hanging storage in the bathroom, so don't forget that there. But you've got kind of a mine and yours sort of closet arrangement. Now, of course, you have a nightshade. If you want to pull that shade down there, maybe you're at a clothing optional resort. Maybe you enjoy putting on a free show. I don't know. Live your life to each their own. But for most of us, people like me who are ashamed of their bodies, we're probably going to have that sucker closed. That'll also greatly help if it's super hot outside by closing that down. But we're not done with the storage. We've got some super dresser space down below here. And you notice those household and USB outlets right there. One of the things I kind of thought about is this looks a lot like a desk to me. Like if you removed that door right there and you took that little shelf out right there, you'd have a little, basically sit on the bed as though it were the chair. That's where your legs can go, and you've got a desk. That's cool. There's different ways you can do this, and doing something like that is not going to affect your warranty. But just think about stuff like that sometimes. Just because something isn't built specifically where it says desk on a diagram doesn't mean that it can't function that way for you. Now, I do want to mention it is a 6.5 foot tall upper deck in here, so people like me, I can walk around in here very comfortably, no problem. And that is a second factory standard 15,000 BTU Coleman quiet air conditioner for a maximum 30,000 BTU cooling capacity right here. Try saying that 3 times fast. Go. That. And a real quick look at the bedroom, almost from the windshield's perspective up here. One of the interesting things about this design is that they had room for a nice, large, dedicated side stand by the bed. And whether you just like to set a book there, a phone charger, a CPAP machine, whatever the case may be, I love that they didn't let that space go to waste. Now their slide system, it does occupy a little bit of the space below the bed, but as you can see where the centralized vacuum components are located, you still got a pretty decent storage chest down here. And in a way, it's kind of nice that you don't have to go army belly crawling through the whole thing, because I don't know about you. My army belly crawling days are over. By the way, I don't think you got a good look at it, but totally carpetless up here. Totally carpetless interior flooring. I also really like to show you the RVs with the slides closed here at Haylett RV. If you appreciate that extra effort, make sure you click that little like and subscribe button real fast. So you see that you can still access that bed, whether it's the king or the queen here in transit. You can use the bathroom as well, although at a glance, it looks a little tight. What you do is you're going to step in here, you're going to stand in the corner, and then you're going to close the door. Now, if I can do it, chances are you can too. As we work our way around the corner here, this is kind of the one catch-22. If you take something like a Montana and you just keep squishing it down, eventually you're going to run into a pinch point, and that will be located here in the living room area, which I know kind of poses a bit of a problem for folks who really do want to do some traveling. But this is a type of slide out. If you only open this partially, you can, it's okay to do that with this slide. It won't hurt it, basically. You just don't want to leave it that way, especially if it's raining, you don't want to do that. But if you need to open it just partially to kind of snake through here, you can do that. Now, if you really feel like doing a little bit of climbing over that countertop, you can do that too. But that's up to you guys. Everybody has a different level of what they find acceptable. All I'm trying to do is just show you what is and what isn't so you can make an educated decision. As we step outside of this big full-time RV and beauty, I want to point out the fact that even though she is the smallest Montana, it actually still has some of the greatest patio awning spacing coverage. Both of these big power awnings, they are easy tilt, which that awning, you're not going to need to tilt very much. But that one over there on the far side on the face of the slide, you know, it hangs down a little bit. I can still pretty much walk under it, but it is nice to be able to control that. Not to mention the fact that if you are outside, it is a little bit drizzly. It is really nice and handy to be able to, you know, tilt those awning arms a little bit, get some good rainy day runoff. And watch the light reflect off the skin as we walk around this, even on a shady day, that high gloss that you're looking at. This thing has all of the curb appeal. I mean, fight me. This thing looks amazing. And that front windshield, I don't care if you just always leave the shade pulled on the inside. It has the look. Yes, sir. This thing has an amazing look to it. Now, speaking of the walls, Montana does something that very few RVs do, even at Keystone. There's only 2 Keystone divisions that even do this, and that is that their sidewalls are CNC routed. If you don't know what that means, it means that like where that slide out, where that window installs in the sidewall, it's not hand cut with a router. It is machine precise down to 1/1000th of an inch. Only the most premier of Keystone products get that. And again, all Montanans receive it. High Country, Big Monty, Full Monty, whatever you want to call it, all of them. Now, we've got ourselves automatic leveling here. We also have the matching Road Armor pin box and suspension system. 1-2 punch combo to give you a smoother, easier traveling experience. And considering this is a smaller fifth wheel, it's funny. That makes a whole lot of sense, you know? And one of the things that makes that work is if you notice those rubber shock dampeners, how they are mounted above and below the tire. Plus, you can see those wet bolt fasteners right there to give this the ability to be more serviceable for longer term use and ownership. And those are Dexter axles, by the way. Now, here is something I need to be doing a better job of educating you folks on. You hear me talk on Jayco's, Goodyear radials, blah, 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 blah. And don't get me wrong, they're absolutely fantastic. But Montana is using Saloons, which I believe are something that absolutely stands side by side with Goodyear. And here's why. So like those big Goodyears that I talk about on the Jayco's, like the North Points, the Pinnacles, the Eagles all the time, they're each rated for 4,080 pounds. You know what these Saloons are rated for? 4,080 pounds. Would you believe that these Saloons actually have a longer warranty period? These have 8 years of manufacturer's coverage. That is 2 more years than Goodyear Endurance Radials, which again, fantastic tire. Absolutely a premier top shelf echelon. And when we're looking in the travel trailer market, there's nothing else that compares to it. But up here in the big fifth wheels, if you really ask around people that tow and go and know, you're gonna hear that there's 2 options, Goodyear and these Saloons. The other cool thing about these, they're rated for 75 miles an hour. Now, if you're doing your math, if you're familiar, Goodyears are rated for 87. Yeah, 75 is less than 87. But they're both still more than 70. They're both still more than the maximum speed limit. And frankly, I don't think you should be towing these things 70 miles an hour regardless. So both of them are rated for more speed than you should ever be handling. These give you longer warranties and the same ratings and assurances. Goodyears are great. These are just as awesome. Keep that in mind. That's something I've done a really poor job on, and I'm going to keep doing better for you. And if you appreciate that extra in-depth info, hit that little subscribe button or like the video. Leave us a comment. Say, hey, thanks, Haylett. Appreciate it, man. Because there is no sense in spending that kind of money to replace brand new tires on a beautiful fifth wheel like this. You know, you don't need to. So over here, Montanas, by the way, they are and have been 0 degree proven and tested since 2005 and counting. that enclosed docking station is part of the reason. I mentioned inside we have 12-volt tank heater pads. They have liberal use of radiant barriers through the floors, the ceiling, down the nose cap, under the bed deck, all over the place. They also have direct forced air heating in the belly. Yeah, I mentioned the tank here, I think, twice now. Never mind. I'm an idiot. I'm moving on. Good pass-through compartment. This is slightly smaller than, say, something like a 330RL Montana High Country pass-through. But remember, this RV is like 5 feet shorter than a 330RL Montana. Which, by the way, also available here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Now, one of the first things I thought of is, okay, it's a shorter Montana. That really seems like something that would play well into the idea of like towing a boat behind it. And wouldn't you know it? Montana agrees, because they have this outfitted with a factory standard 3,000-pound towing hitch with safety chain hooks back here, as well as a 4-way wiring harness. And by the way, if you shift into reverse, you're going to be able to see what you're doing, because these have standard rear travel lighting, just like your vehicle, you know? And I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I can't help myself. I'm going to get you up there on that roof. This one looks like it came straight out of the factory. It doesn't look icy up there. I'm going to give it a shot. If the video makes it live, you know I made it out alive. She's not too bad up here. Now, I talk all the time about cold camp this, 4 seasons that, whatever. I don't actually like the term 4 seasons, but anyway, I know that that's the market phrase for hot cold camp capability. Those white pucks right there, you see another one behind the forward air conditioner in the bedroom. Those are heat vents. They are going to, just like you have to ventilate the attic space of a residential construction, you actually don't have to do that with campers legally, but Montana does it. They do it so that your head doesn't turn into a roiling, broiling corn dog. I don't know. I don't know. Not corn dog. You know what I mean. But they're an amazing hot climate camper, not just cold climate camper. Also, a couple other convenience features up here. Like, you see these little nubs sticking off of this thing up here? They've sealed over them, which Montana's very often do, because they're like, use more sealant than less all the time. But there's actually a little hole through there where you can put a lock pin, so that if you want to add like one of those roof vent cover jobs, you can without voiding your warranty. Because you can have an amazing RV. You've got the full-time RV warranty, the 3-year structural coverage, but what good is it if installing a roof vent throws away a portion of that warranty? That makes about as much sense as trying to slam a revolving door, which I watched my Uncle Gary do for 15 minutes straight the other day. I should have recorded it, would have gone on AFV, would have made $10,000. Remember, if you're going to do something dumb, always hit record first. Also, standard roof solar prep right here. Now, High Country does have an option for a 300-watt roof solar package that does include an inverter, but that big 1,200-watt super solar system, that is available on full Monty only. So, pardon the gash on my head. I definitely didn't get that by just scraping my forehead while taking off my hat. I definitely got that by doing something like fighting off some terrorist insurgents who were attacking a busload of orphan nuns. Yeah, we'll go with that. Regardless, though, joking aside, if you've appreciated the information that we brought for you here today, please click the subscribe button. If you like the camper, hit the like button on the video, and then leave us a comment. Let us know what you like, what you'd like to see different. If you have any questions, any comments. You know, I've given you a pretty good initial walkthrough of it, but there's certainly more to it than I've offered here. Anything I haven't filled in, we'd be happy to fill you in for. And good gravy, this hat, and even with my balding hairline, I've got some bad hair days going on right here. Did you know you could have bedhead with no hair? I found out. Anyway, remember folks, we don't do hidden dealer fees. We only do everything else. So take care. Stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.